and that the only reason he did so is that both he and his opponent were throwing golf clubs, and his opponent ran out of golf clubs before he did.
Thank you very much, Peter Kessler. A description here of Philmont Country Club. Bent fairways, bent grass greens, and a brand new course record of 63.
Really good golf course, Denny. You really have to shape the shots, the tee shots, left to right and right to left off the tee. And the greens are firm enough where you can't really hold the green well if you hit it in the rough. The rough is sparse and spotty, but around the greens, it's fairly thick and gnarly.
Let's head now to the 16th and the second shot of Stewart Cink. 16, playing 471 yards, pin cut back left, and from the lie that most of the players will have, not an accessible pin today, Jim.
Maybe a little more difficult, you know, going uphill, a lot of guys trying to get the ball up in the air a little more, which usually leads you to leak it a little bit left or right. With this pin cut back left, a tougher pin to get at. Well, these guys have driven it all the way down to the bottom of the fairway in a good lie. And that's probably where you're going to expect to see a lot of shots today.
Ahead we go to the 18th. Chris Hunsucker with the birdie chance. Pin cut on the back ledge at the par 5 here for round number 2.
This green is divided by a ledge right in the middle, probably a 2.5 foot change in elevation. And a very difficult par 5, almost a 90-degree dog leg. Requires that you pay attention on every single shot, or you can make some numbers on this hole. This putt hard to get to the hole up this ledge.
Back to 16 we go. The third shot of Brett Quigley, who was just one shot off the lead, but this is his third after having to punch out from the trees.
Denny, difficult driving hole. You know, you got to put it right up the left side just so it will catch the right side of the fairway with a large slope and a change in elevation of about 45 feet. A difficult tee shot.
Brett trying to save par and stay just one shot off the lead. We'll be back with more of our live second round coverage of the Nike Philadelphia Classic right after we take this timeout. Today's coverage is being brought to you by Buick and your local dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. By Nicklaus Golf, makers of the new N1 Bear Irons and Metal Woods. And by Izod Club. A shirt like this comes along once in a lifetime.
Let me guess. One side of you craves easy chair comfort, while the other side itches for performance, right? Well, meet Buick Regal with its famous 3800 V6 engine and Grand Touring suspension. Add to that an all-new interior with body-sensitive seats. And finally, there's a car for the two of you. Buick Regal.
The hands of Jack Nicklaus have driven 380-yard greens in playoff pressure. They've buried 40-foot putts to determine the outcome of major tournaments. And they've made golf balls perform in ways others never dreamed possible. Today, they bring you the new progressive-sized Bear Iron. Isn't it time you put your game in Jack's hands?
Tom Pernice Jr., Jeff Breho tied at 7 under par, and in the clubhouse, Joe Choi, I should say, just one shot back. And let's go now to the 13th and long hitting Chris Smith.
13th hole, 399-yard par 4. Pin today is got just 4 yards from the left edge of the green, 13 on. And not something he's real pleased with sand wedge in his hand.
This a moment ago at the 18th. This would be for par and a round of 66. Tap in for Derek. 67 on the day with 6 birdies.
But there are just so many names that are putting up good scores out here, Denny. You just don't know where the next good round's coming from.
Stewart Cink now at the 16th, puzzled a bit by which way this one might break. Of course, the things that we really haven't talked about much, Jim, a total absence of wind, and also the fact that this golf course is 6,500 yards long.
Well, that's right, and a lot of the players feel like, you know, they're really not hitting much more than 6 irons into anything. There are a couple great par 3s on the front side that are very difficult and challenging, and one of the par 5s is fairly easy, but the other one is difficult. But these guys are disciplined, again, in their approach to this, and they're playing target golf. They're playing very well. And these greens are probably, you know, they're a little bit scary going downhill, you know, Denny, but when it's a level putt, it's the kind of speed that you don't have to worry about getting it there too much. And so you can put a nice stroke on it, and you don't really have to worry about banging it, so you don't get the putter offline. And they're beautiful greens. The fellas are just loving these greens. Of course, in magnificent shape.
After a birdie at 17, Sean Murphy's third shot at the par 5 18th.
Sean Murphy, great wedge player and a superb putter. This one ought to have a chance.
Brett Quigley now to try and save par at a very tough hole, the 16th.
Large elevation change from where the players hit their second shot to the green, probably 25 feet, so not a real comfortable shot from the fairway. Good looking putt. A save.
That one was in the moment it left the flat stick. Ooh, that'll keep a round going, won't it?
Boy, it sure did. Nice stuff there.
Yeah, a little shake of the head. Oh, I shouldn't have hit that drive over there, but I made up with it with that long putt. You see some of the outstanding rounds already posted thus far today. And now Chris Smith at 13 to see if he can get a birdie putt to drop.
Little downhiller here. One that he should have to be careful with the speed. He's a little defensive there and never got it on line. Chris Smith, one of the talented young players out here, hits at 9 miles and the very solid swing.
At the 9th, Chad Ginn with his approach shot.
Irvin Ginn, who's a PGA Tour official, is this young man's father. And very proud of his son, the way he's playing golf these days. Chad left that one out right into the bunker. Not one of his better efforts.
Let's go out now to the 14th. Gary Rusnak, who started first off the front side yesterday, 7:30 in the morning, went out and posted a 5 under par 65. +1 for the day. A player I would suspect, Jim, that would really like this golf course, first of all, because he grew up in Northeast Ohio, many great clubs up there, Donald Ross type golf courses with Canterbury and Sharon Club, Firestone.
Yes, you know, and he says ball striking is one of his strengths, but the putter in the last few weeks has really been hot for him. And boy, you put those combinations together and you're going to get some money in the pocket.
Gary with a very good chance to win down in Richmond earlier this year. Actually, 3 or 4 different chances thus far. Has not been able to break through here in 95.
Well, this last month he said he's made a good move up the money list and very happy about that. You build on these things a lot of times. You know, you don't just come out of nowhere to win tournaments. You build and you build your confidence, and this golf course is going to take the mindset of a very confident player because there are a lot of challenging shots here.
And a player that's able to really control the golf ball in both directions.
Exactly.
To the 18th, Sean Murphy. Aren't many players out here any better from this distance than he is.
No, he putts with one of the old Arnold Palmer style putters, and you see, gets the left shoulder up and the left arm extended, pushed down, so there's really no breakdown in his putting stroke. Rolls the ball beautifully. Hart, nothing but net.
Nice way to end the day, 65-68, and now tied for the lead. And out of the 17th tee, and Brett Quigley.
Quig.
On this pin today, Denny, going to have a few guys shooting away from it. Yesterday it was in that perfect spot just on the left side of the green where the hump kind of directed you back in. Today, though, a little less excessive.
And Mexico's own Rafael Alarcon at the 13th.
Nice shot, drawing it into the pin. Well played. On the right side of the pin and trying to work it towards the hole.
Tommy Masters ahead at the 14th to get to 2 under.
Pin today at the 14th is only 4 yards from the right edge of the green, and looking down at the pin sheet, there's 6 of those on this side. And that just breaks off on Tommy. So the pin positions are right near the edges of the greens.
Now to the par 3 12th, and Jeff Barlow. 12th playing at 157 yards uphill.
Safe. One of his partners hit a great shot in there. Beautiful little hole, the 12th hole, Denny. Uphill par 3. Well guarded by bunkers.
Back to the par 4 13th, and John Connolly from the right side of the fairway. It's when you know you're not thinking about playing on the weekend. Ball's still in the air, the caddy's already got the club, you're marching up the fairway.
Oh, it's a painful time.
Still with a few birdies down the stretch. What are you thinking about in terms of cut this weekend, Jim?
Well, 51 players at 1 under yesterday, and they cut to 55 on this tour, so you really have to go low. It looks like it'll be 1 under, and may even go to 2.
Let's move now to the 9th green. And another birdie chance, 9, a tough driving hole to get it into the fairway. Phil Tatarangi trying to get to +1.
I know a lot of the players figured that even or 1 over would certainly make the cut here, but nobody's back down. Oh, nice putt, Phil. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to do it.
To the 17th, and to get to a tie for the lead, Tom Pernice Jr., Jeff Breho, Sean Murphy already at 7 under.
Well, today with this pin being cut just 4 yards from the right edge of the green, the guy doesn't feel so confident hitting a little draw in there with a wedge. Brett just misses the line on that, but makes par.
Commercial 3 for Brett Quigley, who continues to trail by 1 here in the second round of the Nike Philadelphia Classic.
Not really. Graphite's expensive, so to cut corners, many graphite shaft makers use inferior materials.
not True Temper. They have a 70-year reputation to maintain, and they work with the top club companies that demand the best. So should you. If you play graphite, be sure to play the best. Play True Temper. I do.
True Temper's played all over the world. Club makers like Ping, Maxfly, Top Flight, Tommy Armour, and others. See for yourself. Take a head count.
Strength. Grace. Style. Finesse. Qualities you'll find in these great golf champions. Qualities that make Rolex the official timepiece of the LPGA.
Welcome back to the 13th green at Philmont Country Club, located just outside of Philadelphia. Overcast skies, temperature about 84, and not even a hint of a breeze out there today.
John Connolly for his birdie, and that's just about how things are going for John. And a decent shot in there, and don't even give the putt a chance.
Brett Quigley tapped in for par at 17, so he'll head to the 18th at 6 under. Now we go to the 14th and the second shot of Brad Lehman from the left rough.
Well, depending on his lie, it looks like there's no tree limbs in his way, but enough rough here where it makes you worry about catching a flyer or not. Brad having his troubles at 7 over. Maybe it's because he's driving it like this.
Back to the 13th green. Rafael Alarcon for birdie.
And a beautiful putting stroke from Rafael. Always had a tremendous short game. Nice smooth acceleration.
Moment ago at the 12th, Jeff Barlow in a bid to get to +1. Let's move now to the treacherous par 4 15th and the play of Gary Rusnak. Gary Smith.
It's not looking pretty. He's just going to have to pitch out here, I think. The ball's sitting down in the rough, and he's also blocked by trees in front of the green, so he's just got to lay up and then try and have a relatively short pitch into the green. Good decision there. He's left himself a little further back, and he's on a relatively flat area in the fairway, if there is such a thing on this hole.
Back to 12. A look from the green on back to the tee. Stuart Appleby, a winner on the Nike Tour earlier this year. Pin where it is, 6 or 7 today, James?
I think so. I think that the stronger players will go with the 7, and the guys who are not quite as strong maybe take the 6 and knock down a little cut in there. It's certainly not a pin you want to miss right, though. A lot of rough, and the green drops off to the right of the pin. A ridge and all sorts of bunkers. Beautiful, beautifully designed par 3, though. Frames you very well. Oh, right at it. Look at that. Oh, how did it not go in, Denny?
Dancing around the cup. Oh, he was robbed, Nelly.
He was.
The man was robbed.
What a shot.
We need the super slow-mo for that. Second shot now at the 15th for Tommy Masters. Gary?
Tommy's got around 100 yards to the pin. Just a little pitching wedge, but I think what's interesting here today with the pin placement is if the players land the ball short of the pin with a lot of spin, they run the risk of spinning the ball back into the water. So maybe the play is to land the ball behind the pin on that little upslope, and if it does spin back, end up pin high, but you don't want to spin it too much and land it short of the pin.
Safely underneath the cup for this 34-year-old with 2 years of experience on the Nike Tour.
There's a little look at the 15th hole on Tommy Masters' stats. Best finish time for 27th in this year's Alabama Classic. 70th in the Tour qualifier.
Time for us to welcome Jeff Breho to the booth here. And after a fine round today of 66, tied for the lead, your assessment of the golf course. We've talked to a lot of the players. They seem to really like Philmont Country Club.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite course we play all year, just because it's you know, it's an old-fashioned course, and most of the courses we play are, you know, big fairways, big greens, kind of hit it anywhere. And this course demands a lot of thought, you know, sloping fairways, and you have to drive it sometimes into the slope to stay in the fairway, and you know, get your ball flight tight around here to keep it on below the holes. So it's not so much of a putting contest. We see a little bit of that sometimes on our tour.
Jeff, are you surprised at how well the players have scored thus far here after about a round and a half? Because for many years, 65 was the course record.
Well, on Tuesday it rained like crazy here, and the course played pretty long, and so I thought that it was going to play you know, longer and tougher, and then it dried out so much, and it's playing fast, so we're getting short irons into, you know, a lot of these other holes, and you know, and the weather's perfect. There hasn't been any wind. The greens are rolling. They're fast and they're tough to putt, but they're very true, and they're not spiking up at all. So, you know, it's playing pretty easy.
Jeff,
in that regard.
Stay with us. We're going to go to 15 now for the third shot of Gary Rusnak, who had to punch out. A little bit of a tester there for a four birdies for you today at 3, 6, 7, and 13. Just one bogey in 2 rounds, so obviously you're managing your game and this course very nicely.
Yeah, so far so good. I'm, you know, quite pleased with that.
Is this, when you come to this golf course, you feel like if you have any weakness, this course is going to expose it?
Definitely. You know, you have to drive it good, number one, because the rough is deep enough to affect your second shots, and then you got to have the ball in the right spot underneath the hole on most of these greens, and then you have to putt pretty well. And if you miss, the chipping is tough, so it's challenging everywhere.
How many drivers are you hitting during the round?
I hit my driver pretty straight, so I hit probably more than the average guy, but I think I probably hit it, you know, maybe 7 or 8 times.
Okay. Great playing.
Thanks.
Great playing. Keep it up for the weekend.
Thank you.
67, 66. Hopefully we'll be chatting with you again tomorrow or Sunday.
That wouldn't be a bad thing.
All right, we'll come back with more of our live second round coverage. A 3-way tie for the lead.
As sure as the sun will rise across America, the families that travel will have one common need: to be safe. So it's no surprise that America's favorite full-size car has also been honored for safety. That's according to Prevention Magazine, which gave LeSabre the Safe Car Achievement Award in the full-size category. Buick LeSabre, the American family car.
Channel on-course reporters count up the strokes on the Scorecard Report.
Today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only on the Golf Channel.
Edward Fryatt, all those at Bugsy's in Las Vegas will be watching this birdie effort here. Gary Smith?
Yes, a little downhill, quite fast.
Oh. can't stop there. Just can't stop there.
That's what Edward's saying. It's downhill. Flattens out down there. Gary Rusnak now in an effort to try and save par at the 15th.
And not an easy one. This has a little bit of swing turn, and again is downhill very fast.
Similar to the line we saw Brett Quigley miss it right there. You just figure it has to go right, and it actually goes a touch left. A fooler for a lot of these guys.
Looking a bit dejected after a couple of bogeys today on the backside. Moment ago at the 12th, John Elliott trying to make a 2. Stuart Appleby nearly holed out his shot. He nudged that little 3-incher in for birdie.
Just went up there and caked it in. Look at this slope.
And now live to the 12th. This to save par.
Old Golden Stroker. Man, he can putt his golf ball.
Beauty par.
Yes, sir. The veteran. I would expect Morris to play well here if his game was on. Good short game. Should fit him quite well. And there's the tour comparison. 2 years on the Nike Tour for Morris. $68,000. And 18 years on the PGA Tour with almost $1.7 million. 4 wins. Last one at the 1990 Bank of Boston Classic. Very nice gentleman to play golf with.
To the 14th, second shot of Rafael Alarcon.
A little tougher pin for Rafael to get at. He likes to draw the ball. Pin cut only 4 yards from the right edge of the screen. Well, he fired it right at it and just 15 feet below the hole. Good shot. Course in beautiful condition, Denny. The fairway's absolutely perfect. When you hit it in the fairways, you always get a perfect lie. Certainly has an effect on how well these players hit their iron shots.
Ahead we go now to the par 5 18th, playing at 575 yards. Pin cut all the way in the back, and Jeffrey Peck trying to make 4.
Left edge putt. Ah, well done.
Why do they shake their heads when they make those?
So how come I haven't been doing that all day? It was easy.
Greg Bruckner now from just off the green at 13.
Craig has been a good player for a long time. Played on the tour a number of times, a number of years, and back out here on the Nike Tour, trying to get back out to the PGA Tour. Very solid ball striker, because there's so many of these young guys. Not quite enough oomph out of that fringe. Greg from San Diego.
Back on the tee, ready to pull the trigger. Ocat at +3. He needs some birdies.
As we were talking to Jeff Breho earlier, he said any weaknesses you have in your game, and this golf course will bring it out. Morris has never been a great driver of the ball.
2 feet there, 2.5 feet, and who did I play with?
But a nice drive up the right side.
Pretty impossible, you know.
Carzola, we hit it to 3 feet.
Back now to the 12th tee. Vic Wilk next to play. Mark?
You know, Vic, he's a relative newcomer to the game of golf. He's been a coach and lately a player. I really like this guy's action. Even when he hits it left-handed, it's so smooth. And you know how hard it is to get used to looking to a guy that swings left-handed, but he is smooth. Got a 7-iron out here, 160. Playing uphill.
Maybe a little more accessible pin with the left-hander. Hits a draw here, huh, Mark?
Yes, it is, but he's come over it a little bit, Jim, and he put it in that short side bunker, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be an awful tough up and down there. That'll cost him a shot, at least.
Sure will.
Ahead of the 18th, Brett Quigley. Set to play his third, trying to get to 7 under par and tie Tom Pernice Jr., Jeff Brayo, and also Sean Murphy for the lead. What, he nudged that thing up there pretty close to the green in 2.
Yes, he did, and that's a difficult thing to do.
Especially to be on the right side of the fairway.
Yes, he was flirting. Those trees right there, just to his right, come into play, as you can see on the screen. You have to be very careful with your second shot.
He must have employed that Nelford boomerang slice.
Bill Butner, his second shot of 15. That was kind of pulled long and left, but making its way back down towards the hole.
He just played it off the backboard, that's all. A few style points, although Bill doesn't seem to be too happy with the effort.
Wasn't too impressed with his style there.
First look this afternoon at Hugh Royer III.
Boy, Hugh winning down in Richmond in just a heroic effort on 18 as he was dehydrated and had serious problems even finishing. Oh, gorgeous shot.
Time for us to take a break here. During our live second round coverage of the Nike Philadelphia Classic, 3 are tied for the lead, and we'll be right back. When the First Continental Congress met in 1774 to discuss the rights violations of the British government, they met right here in Philadelphia's Carpenter's Hall. Favored for its central location between the northern and southern colonies, it was here in September of that very same year that Congress addressed their concerns to King George III and agreed to boycott English goods unless their grievances were met. During the Revolutionary War, Carpenter's Hall served as a hospital and an arsenal for American forces.
Did golf become more than a game? Was it the first morning on your own, or that first swing that willed the ball exactly where you aimed? But no matter when you became serious about golf, you can now join a group of golfers as serious as you are, PGA Tour Partners. As a member, you'll enjoy a host of benefits, including access to world-famous courses, and the satisfaction of knowing you help support the charitable traditions of the PGA Tour. As a PGA Tour partner, the game is even more worthwhile.
The battle is on in the German countryside as Europe's best golfers meet in the Volvo Tour's BMW International Open. Choose your tour, the BMW International Open. Round 3 tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Golf Channel.
Welcome back, and if you could choose a spot to putt for birdie at 14, this would probably be it.
Almost straight uphill. Putt should move just a touch to his left. Ah, well done. You can see why that stroke works, Danny. Kind of looks like yours, Mr. Wizard.
Mine looked like that. Boy, I'll tell you. 16. See how that pin is tucked? You can't even see it on the wide angle. It probably doesn't look like there's any green at all underneath it when you're down there in the fairway. Only 4 birdies at the 16th all day, but there may be number 5 right there. All right, back to 12 and Vic Wilk.
He's got a pretty simple bunker shot. It's uphill, and it's sitting real clean in there. He missed it on the near side, but it should be a fairly simple. Whoa, he just hit a little strong. He had a perfect lie there, Nelly, for that one.
Still an intimidating shot, though, wasn't it? Not a lot of green to work with there, was there, Mark?
No, you're right. But the fact that he had an uphill lie, I figured he'd put a lot of juice on that ball.
Yeah, maybe in an effort to do so. Caught it just a touch thin.
To the 18th we go. Brett Quigley in an effort to join 3 other players at 7 under par.
Brett's 25 years old, out of Barrington, Rhode Island. Graduate of University of Southern Carolina in '92. And his uncle Dana Quigley played on tour for quite a while. Played a lot of golf with Dana. Brett actually caddied for him one year when Dana shot 61 at the Hartford Open. So he's a darn good caddy too, as well as being a good player.
3 birdies on the day, trying to cap it off with number 4.
Look at there.
Nudge.
Just didn't accelerate through that, did he?
Did there. That'll aggravate you a little bit.
Well, still, 2 really good rounds, 66-68. You got to be very proud of that start for Brett. Gets him right in the tournament, only 1 back.
Back to the 12th we go to see if Vic Wilk can save 3.
Uphill left to right. For a left-hander, this is a great putt.
Oh, beautiful putt. Beautiful putt, and gives you a good idea how fast that green is, Danny, going uphill. That's just trickling.
Speaking of fast, let's go to 15 in Bill Butner's effort to get to -3. Every player in the field has misread that putt so far. Everybody thinks it's going right.
It's one of those optical delusions.
Birdie chance here at 9, and a good one indeed.
Jim having a good tournament here, 4 under. Going to 5. A former hockey player making a move up the leaderboard.
Power play.
Yes.
Alan Doyle, Matt Peterson, Jeff Breaux, 66. That's 4 under par here at this par 70 layout. So the assault here at Philmont continues through 2 rounds.
Absolutely. It's just not 1 or 2 guys playing good golf. There are dozens of players playing great golf here.
Only a few weeks back, this guy made everything in an effort to nudge Tom Shearer in that playoff. Mark?
Huey is a real streaky player. This game is perfect for him. He's left himself a real delicate putt here, though. Anything past this pin is really tough. Watch him just squiggle this down here.
Looking good. Oh,
that must be a big cup.
It is now. These guys wore the edges off it. Yeah, well done. You.
Trying to just sneak on into the cut. He'll be talking to that golf ball before it's all said and done. 9 cuts made in 14 events, but those of us that watched that effort when he won, when he was dehydrated, will never, ever forget what a sensational finish that was.
It really was. He stuck in there so well. Everybody's proud of that effort that Hugh Royer made there.
Back to the 12th tee. Pete Morgan next to play, and our Peter Kessler has joined this group.
Pete's going to hit a 7-iron. The hole's playing 160 yards. As you know, it's an uphill shot where it's blind in terms of seeing the bottom of the flagstick or the green surrounding it. And the ideal shot here today is a high, soft fade that stops just underneath the hole.
You see very weak grip there. May be perfect for this man's swing. Get it cut. Oh, just about flew it in the hole, so it was a good fit.
To 15, Rafael with a bit of a cut shot, trying to fade it out of this rough.
Boy, he's got to play away from these trees you see above him as our camera pans up. Good work, guys. Got to hit a cut around there out of a jumper lie. And you can see that ball released when it hit, and that's going to be a treacherous 2-putt.
Back to 12 and E.J. Pfister.
All the guys on the tee thought that they saw a really good shot, but not seeing the ball stop makes it difficult to assess exactly what you can learn from the previous one. And just like the shot before, he carried it right to the flag and left himself a very difficult downhill putt. Jim, Michael Christie shot 67 yesterday, and his playing partner's 10 strokes higher. How difficult is it to concentrate on your own game when your playing companions are shooting a significantly higher number?
Well, if you have it going, Peter, like Michael has this year, boy, another great shot. This guy's just peppered the flag. You really do have to stay into your own game, and he's been playing so well. He's played well in the Hooters Tour. He played very well down in South Africa with a number of top 10 finishes. So he is into his game, and yes, it's more difficult, but he's doing it well.
Heading up to the green, good birdie opportunity to get to 4 under par. We'll be back with more of our live second round coverage after this.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
Golf. Rich with tradition and history. A sport forever enduring and unchanged. Golf is pure theater. Its passion and drama has forged so many indelible personalities. These are the champions who met in golf's magnificent arena. Golf Channel Classics.
Challenge Golf, today at 4 p.m. Eastern.
A moment ago, Paul Claxton at 3 under at the 15th.
And a beautifully placed tee shot on the right side of the fairway. Opens up the pin here. And not many tee shots do, and oh, that's come up a little short, backing down to the front edge of the green.
To the par 3 17th. And Tommy Masters, who had to be a golfer.
Absolutely.
Had no choice. Wonder if he's ever played at Augusta. Probably his middle name. Maybe not.
Well, might not be. 124-yard hole. Pin cut in the right side. And Tommy played well conservatively.
Perfect shot for yesterday's pin. All right. Yeah. To the other par 3, the 12th, and E.J. Pfister.
You know the greens are tough when you've got about a 20-foot putt for birdie, and you're hoping just to leave it close enough to tap your second one in. Straight down the slope.
Whoa. Easy. Oh, boy, that got 6 feet by the hole in a hurry.
Back to the 17th. Tall, cool drink of water, Edward Friant.
Yeah, nice shot, exactly pin high, 12 feet or so.
To 13, and Sonny Skinner.
He has drawn an awful lie. Might be able to get a 5-iron on the ball.
Easy.
He's got it out to the right, coming back in. He hit it in a spot that you really have no access to the pin, this left-hand side. The best angle to come in from today is on the right side of this 13th fairway.
Gary Rusnak at 17. Normally likes to hit the ball and touch right to left.
Oh, look at this. Another great shot.
He needs a birdie.
One of the best shots we've seen on 17 today. And yes, he does, Denny.
Now Paul Claxton from underneath the cup at 15. Trying to make 3 in front of the fountain.
He'll settle for 4.
Now to Hugh Royer at 13.
Hugh drew a much better lie than did Sonny Skinner. Got going out to the right. Anytime you come out of that rough, the ball's going to jump a little forward for you, so they're allowing for that.
Now Michael Christie, after nearly holing it out at the 12th for birdie.
Trying to get to 4 under par for the tournament. This is only his 3rd hole on the 2nd day. But he's had the benefit of seeing 2 putts on the same line. And he's playing good.
Yes. He certainly is, Peter. He's been having a great year. Nice young man. We got a chance to talk to him yesterday.
How about the tempo of that putting stroke, Jim?
You can see why it works, can't you?
John Connolly at the 15th. Looking for something positive to happen in day 2.
Well, nobody's got it to the center of that cup yet from that side. Everybody's missed it left.
And EJ for par at the 12th, so a good up and down save for him from the back fringe. Back to the 13th we go, and Vic Wilk.
Half a club too short.
And ahead now to 14. Morris Satolsky with his second.
Good place to come in from on 14 with the pin cut right. Morris went right at it. Up to about 15 feet short there. Give him a realistic birdie opportunity the way he putts. Well, the current cut line, 81 players at even par or better. And there must be a lot of people tied for that last spot. They cut to 55 on this tour. So you really have to go hard to make cuts out here. You make mistakes and very difficult to make cuts out here.
Tommy Masters now for birdie at 17. Of course, earlier this year, the largest field ever to make the cut in a Nike event, 75. Might see something similar to that here.
They're bunching up. If you do make the cut, though, Denny, you have a realistic chance of winning out here.
After a beautiful birdie at 12, Michael Christie at the 13th.
Like so many of the holes on this golf course, this is a get this thing in play and leave yourself a short iron, and he's done just that. Big drive.
That's huge.
Ahead now to 13 and Sonny Skinner.
Pretty delicate shot for him. It's going a little downhill. I don't believe he's got it enough, though. Still not bad. He was pretty much dead off the tee, so having a 3 or 4 footer for par has got to be feeling pretty good.
Boy, Sonny Skinner has played this year 16 events. He's made 11 cuts and had 1 top 10, which was a tie for 7th at the Alabama Classic. So he needs to get on his horse if he's going to make a run the top 10 here this year. But Sonny has made the top 5 on the Nike Tour before and earned his card, so he knows what it's like.
And out of the 13th, Vic Wilk with a few last-minute discussions. A bid for birdie.
He's got to come up a hill and then down a hill. These are usually pretty tough to read. You don't want to really jam it up there. So he's got to get to the top of the hill and let it kind of fall back down. I always had a hard time on these putts, Nelly.
Yeah, very difficult to pick the spot where it starts to pick up speed going back downhill.
Well done. Pretty solid right there. He's very happy with that.
To 17 a moment ago, Gary Rusnak to get to -4.
And back to 1 over for the day, so that stops the bleeding a little bit, Denny, and expect him to go play a good front side.
Back to the 12th tee and P.H. Horgan. Gary?
And a happy P.H. Horgan, having just birdied the last hole. Hit a beautiful iron shot in.